चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत दादरा शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय।
निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे। All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadho Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtigi Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama Pangajanabhaya Nama Pangajamalini Nama Pangajanetraya Namaste Pangajangri Mukam Karodi Vajalam Pangam Langayade Girim Yatkravatamham Bande Garinam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Paramananda Madhavam
Swayam Yoga Kadavyam Dadadi Sabdadigam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita, reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, Nature, Enjoy and Consciousness, and today's verses 8 to 12. We'll read the verse now. Manitvam adambitvam ahimsa chandirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam atmavinigraha indriyarteshu vairagyam anahangara evacha janma mrityujara vyadhi dukkadoshanudarshanam asakti anabhishwanga putradhara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishto bhavattishu mayi chananya yogena Bhaktiravyapicharini Viviktadesha Sevitvam Aradir Jana Samsadi Adhyatmanyanityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam Eda Jnanamidi Proktam Ajnanam Yadonyatha Amanitvam Adambitvam Ahimsa Chandirarjavam Acharyopasanam Shaucham Stairyam Atmavinigraha Indriyarteshu Vairagyam Anahangaravevacha Janma Mrityujara Vyadhi Dukkadoshanudarshanam Asaktir Anabhishwanga Putradhara Grihadishu Nityam cha Samachittatvam Ishtanishto Bhavattishu Mayi Chananya Yogena Bhaktiravyapicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aradir Jana Samsadi Adhyatmanyana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam Eda Jnanamidi Proktam Ajnanam Yadadonyatha Amanitvam Adambitvam Ahimsa Chandirarjavam Acharyopasanam Shaucham Stairyam Vinigraha Indriyarteshu Vairagyam Anahangara Evacha Janma Mrityujana Vyadhi Dukkadoshanudarshanam Asaktirana Vishwanga Putradhara Grihadishu Nityam cha Samachittatvam Ishtanishto Vapattishu Mayi Chananya Yogena Bhaktiravyapicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aradir Jana Samsadi Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnana Artha Darshanam Eda Jnanamidi Proktam Ajnanam Yadonyatha. Hare Krishna. Kartyani Malji, read.
Amanitvamadambitvam ahimsa shantiratyavam acharyopasanam chaucham stairyam atmavinigraha indriyateshu vairagyam अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गम् पुत्रधाराग्रहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि च अनन्ययोगेन भक्ति
अव्यभिचारिणी
भक्तिरव्य अभिचारिणी निमित्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जन संसदि ज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण।
वैखरी माताजी।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
अमानित्वमदं वित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौर्यं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रह इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिशङ्का पुत्रधारा गृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवितत्वम् अरर्तिजनसंसदि।
अध्यात्मज्ञान
പേജ് മറിച്ചിടയിരുന്നു. അധ്യാത്മജ്ഞാന നിത്യത്വം തത്വജ്ഞാനാർത്ഥദർശനം ഏതജ്ഞാനമിതി പ്രോക്തം അജ്ഞാനം യതതോ അന്യഥ. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ.
Hare Krishna. Right. Krishna Prabhu, can read?
Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Amanitvam Adamvitvam Ahimsa Snatir Arjavam Acharyopasanam Saucham Stairyam Atma Vinigraha Indriyatesu Vairagyam Ahankara Evacha Anahankara Evacha Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukha Doshanudarshanam Asakti Anabhishwanga Putradhara Grahatishu Nityam Na Samachitvam Samachittatvam Ishtanistopapatishu
Karthyanemaji, let him read. You keep quiet.
Mai Chananya Yojena Bhaktir Avyabhicharini Vivikta Desa Sevitvam Aratir Jnana Samsadi Adhyatma Jnana Nityavam
Nityatvam Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam
Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam Itat Jnanam Iti Proktam Edat Jnanam Iti Proktam Ajnanam Yad Ato Jnata. Hare Krishna.
Right. Hare Krishna. Okay. Rekha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अमानित्वम् अदम्भितम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मा विनिग्रह इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् आसक्तिर अनाभि विश्वंगः अनभिष्वंगः पुत्रधारा ग्रहादिषु नित्यं च समाचित्तत्वम् अनिष्टोपतिषु मयि चनन्ययोगेन भक्तिरवाभिचारिणी अव्यभिचारिणी विविक्ताधीशे सेवित्वम् आर्तिर्जना
Aradir Jana Samsadi.
अरथिर्जना संशति आध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतत् ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यत् अतो अन्यथा. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Right. Sigdamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. अमानित्वम् अदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिः अरार्जवम्
Acharyopasanam. I cannot hear. Hello. Can anyone hear?
No.
You cannot hear. Okay. Snigdhamaji, we cannot hear you. Hare Krishna.
Try to.
Right. Rekamaji, you can read the meanings.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. अमानित्वम humility, adhambitvam pridelessness, ahimsa non-violence, shanithi tolerance, arjavam simplicity, acharya upasanam approaching a bona fide spiritual master, shaucham cleanliness, stairyam steadfastness, atma vinigraha control, indriyarteshu in the matter of the senses, vairagyam renunciation, anankaraha being without false egoism, eva certainly, cha also, janma birth, mrityu death, jara old age, vyadhi disease, dukkha distress, dosha fault, anudarshanam observing, asakti without attachment, anabhishvangaha without association, putra son, dhara wife, griha adishu home, etc. Nityam eternal, cha also, samachittatvam equilibrium, ishta desirable, anishtaha undesirable, upapattistu having obtained, my unto me, cha also, ananya yogena by devotional service, bhakti devotion, abhyabhicharani constant unalloyed, vivikta solitaire, deshe place, savitvam aspiring, Hati without attachment, jana people in general, samshadi mass, adhyatma pertaining to the self, jnana knowledge, nityatvam eternity, tattva jnanam knowledge of the truth, artha the object, darshanam philosophy, etat all this, jnanam knowledge, iti thus proktam declared, ajnanam ignorance, yet that which, atha from this, anyatha others, humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, and self-control, renunciation of the objects of the sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of a birth, death, old age, and diseases, non-attachment to children, wife, home, and the rest, and even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, restoring to solitary places, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All this I thus declare but to be knowledge, and what is contrary to this is ignorance. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Sigdhamaji, you can read this verse if you want.
Yes, Prabhuji. From 10 I am reading.
Yes.
असक्तिर् अनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारा गृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वामिष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन अव्यभचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वं रतिजनं जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तमज्ञानं जदतो अन्यथा. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry Prabhu, due to
Hare Krishna.
sorry Prabhu, due to network problem
I
it
know.
has.
Yes. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthavidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamahyam Dadadi Swapadandigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakvanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahaganarigunadanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijanasaidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganaladida Shri Vishadhanvidam Sam हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगल्पदे गोपेशा गोपिका कांदा राधा कांदा नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे अमानित्यम अदम्बित्वम अहिंसा शांतिरार्जवम आचार्यो वासनम शौचम स्थैर्यमात्म विनिग्रह इंद्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यमनहंकारे वच जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःख दोषानुदर्शनम् असक्ति अनभिष्वंगा पुत्रदार गृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टो भवतिषु मयि च अनन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणि विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतीर्जन संसदि अध्यात्मज्ञान नित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यततोऽन्यथा. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, and self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, non-attachment to children, wife, home, and rest, and even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, resorting to solitary places, detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these thus I declare to be knowledge, and what is contrary to this is ignorance. So Krishna is now teaching jnanam. What is jnanam? That's one of these questions which Arjuna had asked. Jnanam Nyayam. Jnanam Nyayam, he has asked. 6 questions you should remember always. Prakriti Purusha, Jnanam Nyayam, and
Kshetrajna.
Kshetrajna. 6 questions. Out of that, Kshetra and Kshetrajna have been answered by Krishna from verses 2 to 6, 2 to 7. And now 8 to 12, Jnanam. Actually, Jnana means to gather knowledge. That is actually knowledge. Jnana means that by which something is known. So the real definition of jnana is that by which something is known. For example, you have this mobile is there. You know this thing are made of all many things, plastic, all the ingredients are there, parts are there. But the knowledge about this gives you the knowledge of mobile. Same like table, or you can take any object or any person or any incident or whatever it is. That which gives you the knowledge about that is called jnana. And intelligence means understanding things as they are. So intelligence is called buddhi, jnana is called knowledge. Rather, buddhi is called intelligence and jnana is known as knowledge. Knowledge means that by which something is known. Intelligence means understanding things as they are. So when you have intelligence, then you can gather knowledge. If somebody tells you so many things, but you are not understanding what he's saying, then that knowledge will not penetrate you inside you. So this jnana, which Krishna is speaking about, he is speaking about the means to gather knowledge about what? The knowledge is about jnayam. That is actually now we are going to the next part after 13, 19, two kshetra, these novels of the body, the individual soul and the supreme soul. So what is to be known is these two things, these two concepts, individual soul and super soul, and the means to understand, that is called jnana. So what are the means? 20 means is here describing here 20 things which are absolutely essential if you want to know the real nature of individual soul and the super soul. So starting with humility. Humility is most required. Humility means one should not be anxious that he should be always be honored by people. No, our core disease is that we always like recognition. We always like to be revered. We like to be appreciated. These are our intent nature. If we are not appreciated, we feel sorry. And in a state, suppose you have contributed something and somebody else also contributed for success of some event, and you are not mentioned, you have become very sad. And that somebody else is mentioned, then you become doubly unhappy. That is our nature. We always want to be recognized, appreciated. We want all the respect. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Amanina manadena. Amanina manadena. Don't seek respect from others. You give respect to everyone as and when it deserves. Which is called the what do you call the respect one deserves. It's not like you just respect somebody just like that. Due respect should be given. It's called now the due respect. One should give due respect to everyone. Now the respect that you give, suppose the chief minister of the state walks into house, and suppose another person who is subordinate to chief minister also comes along with him, or comes later or before also. You give more respect to chief minister rather than other man. Both of them deserves respect according to their standards or according to their merits. Now, why you do that? Because eventually everyone is put in that respective position by Krishna only due to their karma. Karmana daivana krena. Because of your past karma, you are now in a particular position, and or somebody is in a particular position, and that respect according to a position we should always accord. So we should not try to seek respect for ourselves. We should respect others. And the underlying idea of respect is that everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna. That is the foundation. Everyone is a part of parcel foundation, part and parcel of Krishna, Amsha of Krishna. That is why very elevated souls, they give obeisance even to a street dog. Because dog is also part and parcel of Krishna. Now he is in the form of dog. Actually, is Atma only, but now he's in the form of love because of his karma. But the person who is Samadarshina, one who is always sees equipoise and see everyone in same footing. As far as the fact that everybody is a part of Krishna, he gives respect. That is humility. Pridelessness is when you are very proud that you have done such a thing. You are executed this, you are executed that. Without you, this thing would not have been done. I have done a great yajna. I am able to do this yajna. Example of Daksha is there. Daksha is expert in conducting yajnas. And he is so proud of himself that when Lord Shiva did not respect him, he became very angry. So that is pride, and absence of that pride is called pridelessness. Then non-violence, ahimsa. Non-violence simply does not mean that you should not inflict physical pain on somebody, or even mental pain also on somebody. Ahimsa or himsa means when you restrict someone to attain their natural position, swarupa, a living entity who is striving to attain his swarupa, and suppose he is prevented from doing so, that is also himsa. That is the greatest himsa. Not that you slap somebody or kick someone or you abuse somebody with words. That is also himsa. But when you stop someone for executing devotional service, then that is himsa. And ahimsa means opposite to that. You always encourage someone in whatever way you that is, you can do, able to do. That is non-violence. Tolerance, that is shanti, tolerance. Again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Pinadavi Sunichena Taroravi Sahishnuna. You should be lower than a blade of grass. Trinad Abhi Sunichena. Trinad means grass. Sunichena means lower. So, lower than a grass. Taroravi Sahishnuna, more tolerant than a tree. And a tree is undergoing so many abuses by people. So many people, things of its branches are cut down, leaves are plucked out. Some birds are coming and evacuating on the tree. But tree is always tolerant. Same way, somebody may hurt you or somebody may do something bad to you. You have to be tolerant and want respect. Like Hiranyakashipu had cruelly tortured his son, Prahlad Maharaja, and Prahlad Maharaja underwent all these tortures smiling. He had no problem at all because he was always protected by Lord. He was always protected. So whatever Hiranyakashipu tried to do to him, he was not at all affected. And so he didn't have any animosity towards Hiranyakashipu. And when Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narsingh, he prays to Narsingh that please be merciful to my father. He is dead, but then you liberate him. But that doesn't mean that somebody comes and abuses you and somebody gives you, physically hurts you, you should tolerate that. No. A devotee has every right to defend himself because this body is meant for rendering service to Krishna only. And somebody tries to put some obstacles, naturally you can defend yourself. Like, for example, suppose you are staying in a house, a rented house. Somebody comes and tries to put fire on the house. Can we say that this is not my house? It's somebody else's house. So I don't have to defend it. Same way, this body is given to us by Krishna. It's actually a rented thing. It's owned by Krishna only, and we are just temporarily occupying this body only. So if somebody tries to do some harm to that body, naturally you can retaliate. So tolerance means just doesn't mean that you tolerate some physical abuse. It's not like that. Tolerance here is meant at a higher level. Tolerate all the situations. Like Bhagavad Gita says, Shidoshna Sukhadukkada. So these things are there. So tolerance is there. And simplicity. Simplicity means always be equipoisement. Don't strive for things that is too complicated. Always present things in a very simple manner. Don't strive for something that is very hard to achieve. In Nectar of Insectary, it is said that we should not strive too much. What is due to you will come to you always. We don't have to strive too much. So simplicity, one sense means you don't have to strive too much, and simplicity means dealings should be very, very straight. There should not be any duplicity at all in your dealings. These are the qualities that is automatically comes into developed by devotees only. Even to an enemy also, you should try to define things or explain things in a nice manner. And then Acharya Upasanam. Acharya Upasanam means approaching a spiritual master. And we all know the importance. Bhakti Rasamrita starts at Ado Acharya, Ado Guru Ashraya. You have to always be submissive to Guru. Guru is another form of Krishna. Like Krishna says, Acharya Mam Vijaniyan. You have to give equal respect to Guru as you give to Krishna also. Never disrespect him. And don't consider him as an ordinary person. And to obey his orders verbally, word for word. You cannot interpret the orders of the spiritual master. You cannot circumvent it. You cannot overlook it. You cannot debate on that. So Srila Prabhupada says, order of spiritual master and order of the father should be obeyed with a big yes, sir. You don't consider the order. Okay, is it good? Is it really something I should follow? This kind of consideration should not be there. Or try to overcome it or circumvent it. No. So your attitude towards the spiritual master's order, that is most important in your spiritual life. And the attitude that you should obey it word for word. Cleanliness, steadiness, and self-control. Shaucham. Shaucham, there are two cleanliness of external and internal. External means you wash your body, you wash your clothes, you always keep yourself neat and clean. Internal means you take out all the dirt from your heart. Chedo darpana marjanam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Chedo darpana marjanam. Cheda means this mirror. heart. And heart is compared to a mirror which has gathered dust over a long period of time. So our heart is full of dust gathered over so many lifetimes. And to cleanse that hard dirt, only Hare Krishna Mahamantra can do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That way you become internally clean. Steadiness and self-control, Stairam, Atmavindigam. Stairam is also always very consistent. It's not that you chant today 16 rounds, tomorrow chant not even once. Today you offer Krishna very nice dishes, tomorrow you don't do anything. Today you read Bhagavad Gita nicely, 2 hours, 3 hours. Next 5 days you don't read at all. And that steadiness, the progress, you should always monitor yourself. How am I progressing? How am I progressing in my spiritual life? And what are the parameters by which I can assess myself? That is called steadiness and self-control, Atma Vinigraha. There should be always be introspection, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, Indriyarteshu Vairagyam. Indriya means sense, Artha means object of sense, that is sense objects like sound, like form, like smell, and all those things. And the Indriyas are always madly rushing after the sense objects. So that should be stopped. Vairagyam, Anahangaram, you should seek detachment. And then Anahangara, Ahangara is always Ahangara means you cannot eradicate or Ahangara. Ahangara is always because Aham is always with us. But a wrong concept of Aham is called Mithya Ahangara. When you say that I am this body, that is a wrong concept of Aham. When you say I am the soul, Aham Brahmasmi, that means I am the soul. So you have to get rid of this anahangara, false ahangara, perception evil of janma mrityu jara vyadi, dukkha dosha anudarshanam. The cycle of BODD, birth, old age, disease, and death. This is called the cycle. It's repeated, it repeats. Then you should know the suffering behind this. Suffering when you take birth, suffering when you become old, suffering when you get diseased, and suffering when the time you are leaving the body, death. It's always very difficult. And throughout your life, you are under 3 kinds of miseries: Adhyatma, Adhibaudiga, Adhidaiviga. So once you are born, you're always subject to these kind of 3 miseries. Nobody can avoid it. It's common to everyone. Nobody can avoid it. Nobody wants it, but nobody can avoid it. This is a BODD. The definition of BODD means it's common to everyone. Everyone is by getting born, everyone going under through this old age and disease. Everyone is dying. That is common. No, within this cycle of BODD, there may be so many variants. I may be placed in some position, you may be placed in some other position, and so many things are there. Winter is there, so autumn is there, so all those things are there. But the basic thing of BODD, the real basic effect, BODD, the why you have come to this material world is BODD. That is common for everyone. And nobody wants this suffering, but nobody can avoid it. So we have to understand the fallacy of this BODD and understand that all the sorrow is due to this only. And then non-attachment to children, wife, home, and the rest. Yes, you should not be overly attached to your wife and children. Doesn't mean that you neglect them. You should have affection for them. But affection in what way? Just by always fulfilling their material needs? No. Material needs should be brought down to minimum. Only that is essential, only should be provided. But other than that, you should always be affectionate. If a parent is a father and mother, is a duty to bring up the children in a very adhyatmic way. Like worshipping that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 64 limbs of devotion are mentioned. Out of that, five limbs are very, very important. One is, of course, the chief is chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Two is association. Three is prasadam. Four is deity worship. And five is visiting holy places, dham visit. Oh, actually, in places, prasad is mentioned, but actually, other thing is reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad, reading the scriptures. That is very, very important. And you should always encourage the family members in this. That is a real affection. Not that you fulfill everything. Whatever, oh, I want, Papa, I want motorcycle. Okay, take it, sir. Boy, you take it. Whatever he asks for, you give it. That is not affection. Affection is bringing up in a very nice manner in spiritual. Even minus, I mean, nityam cha samachittatvam ishta anishto bhavatishu. World is always like that. You want things to happen in a very nice manner, the way you want things to happen. But always it's not like that. There will always be unpleasant things also. Everything according to your karma. And then when something unpleasant happens, you have become very sad. When something pleasant comes, you are overjoyed. But a person who is in Krishna conscious, one who is steady, Bhagavad Gita very nicely says this in verse number 57, so 56. Dukeshu anudignamana sugeshu vigadaspruha. Verse 56 of second chapter says, Dukeshu anudignamana, one who is not disturbed by threefold miseries, dukkam, and who is not elated when there is happiness, sugeshu vigadaspruha. These things are there. So this ishta anishta, you should be always equipoised. So that is it. And then constant unalloyed devotion, that is a central point. Mam tu abhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevade. Abhyabhichari bhakti means unmixed, not mixed with anything, pure unalloyed devotion. Devotion for the sake of devotion. Worshipping Krishna for pleasing Krishna, not to get something out of Krishna or to get some benefit out of Krishna. Our only interest is to serve Krishna so that Krishna is become happy. And that way you become happy. That is a real abhyabhichari bhakti. That is an unalloyed devotion. And if you practice that, you become very, very happy in your life. Detachment from general mass, detachment from people, general mass of people, doesn't mean that you don't associate with devotees. You always associate devotees, but you don't associate non-devotees. And staying in an isolated place, yes. Isolated place means, yes, you can do isolated place means you can do some meditation or you can pondering and all that, do that. But that doesn't mean that you run away to forest. No. You have to stay where you are. And then even in a solitary, even in the marketplace, you become solitary because by chanting. Suppose to be able to chant even in the marketplace, that actually you are in a solitary place. So Prabhupada says, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati says, you have to sit in a city only, live in a city only, so that you can purify yourself and help others suffering lots, you can help others also. That's why you have to sit, but you don't run away. And then accepting importance of self-realization and philosophical search for absolute truth. Bhagavatam says, Vadandi tat tattva edas tattvam yajnanamadvayam brahmedi paramatmedi bhagavani shabde. What is tattva? What is philosophy? Real philosophy is understanding the absolute truth. And absolute truth is realized in three phases: Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The highest realization is Bhagavan. Brahman realization is a beginning. Paramatma realization is realizing the localized Paramatma who is inside our heart. And Bhagavan realization, Bhagavan is the source of everything. His realizations are topmost. So these are the 20 factors or 20 things which are required. These items, 20 items, that will help you to gather knowledge. And Krishna says in the last one, he says, Edat jnanam iti prokam. This is actually knowledge. Ajnanam yado anyatha. What other than this is ajnanam only. So instead of amanitva means become proud. Adambitva, ahimsa means you become very cruel. So opposite of this. And the last one is actually the real factor is that people may elevate themselves steadily, and where you are is a place where you are. Suppose it is there is a staircase, 20 steps are there, and when you are climbed down 3 steps, you are that place, means you have reached that level. And then you reach a 10th step, means you have reached that level. Then you reach a topmost. That is a real knowledge. And the topmost is understanding Vasudeva Sarvamidhi. Krishna is everything. And if you rebel against that, if you think that Krishna is not everything, Brahman is, I am Brahman, I mean, you think that the Brahman realization is highest, rejecting the Bhagavan, then you cannot progress. You reject Bhagavan and then at the same time you want to progress spiritually. That is contradiction, self-contradiction. That is contradict. So you have to always be very submissive. When you read Bhagavad Gita, you should be submissive to Krishna. When you read Bhagavatam, you should always be submissive to Krishna. And if you do that, then definitely you'll progress. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So any further clarification or any doubts want to be cleared? Yes, Prabhu. You have any doubt?
Yeah, Prabhuji, no doubt. Just one question, just to know it. Prabhuji, this in Jagannath Puri temple in Orissa, the idol is made of wood instead of stone idols like other temples. And also why the eyes of the idol is big and round without eyelids. Any information?
Yes. The idols of Jagannath Puri is known as Daru Brahman. Daru means wood. Daru means wood. So Brahma means Krishna has appeared in this form of wood. Now, if you really want to understand why Krishna has assumed this form, especially in wood, the large eyes, there are no eyelids, and legs and arms and all very contorted. That form is there in Jagannath. How this form has come into existence, we have to understand the past time that happened at the time of Krishna was here. So once in Kurukshetra, Vasudeva was conducting a yajna in which all that Dwaragavasis along with Krishna, Balaram, Krishna's 16,108 wives, everyone gathered. Plus, Vasudeva had also invited his friend and Yashoda Mataji and Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj is a close friend of Vasudeva. So they had invited Nanda Maharaj also. And along with them came the Gopis and Rohini Mataji and everyone. So when they arrived, the wives of Krishna were very interested to know the childhood pastimes of Krishna. They have heard much about it, but they're very curious to know what is a pastime. And so nectarian. They know that all the pastimes of Krishna, the childhood pastime that happened in Vrindavan is the greatest, the most nectarian. So when they knew that Rohini Mataji had also come, say they approached Rohini Mataji and said that Mataji, please describe those pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. We'll be very happy to hear that. And then Rohini Mataji, okay, I'll tell that, but you have to be very careful that because Krishna and Balaram is here also. Suppose they come and listen to it also, there'll be problem. So what you do is they are sitting in a tent now. It's a makeshift tent. You do one thing. Some of you just start outside the tent, and when Krishna and Balaram, when I am narrating, suppose Krishna and Balaram is coming, they should inform me. And then the wives, they said, okay, the youngest among us is Subhadra only, sister of Krishna. So they asked Subhadra, you please wait outside the tent. Then we listen to this. You can also listen from outside, but you be there also, so that when Krishna and Balaram are coming, in case they are coming, you be alert us. So then Rohini Mataji started narrating all the pastimes of Krishna, very sweet pastimes, and the wives of Krishna were engrossed in that. And Subhadra Mataji also hearing it became very engrossed. So engrossed were the pastimes, when Krishna and Balaram came that way, Subhadra Mataji did not know them, did not see them. And then Krishna and Balarama also started listening. Krishna was very happy. Krishna was very interested in hearing his own pastimes. People are, praising him. So like that. So Balarama, everyone, three of them, Krishna, Balarama, and Subhadra, were listening very rapt attention. And then they became so discount. They became ecstatic. When there is ecstatic, there is transformation of the body. The eyes become very big, the arms become short, and all those things will be manifested will be there. And then suddenly Narada Muni came that way, and Narada Muni saw this form of Krishna, and he was astounded. Then he paid up his Krishna. Krishna is such a lovely form, not seen anywhere. And we want to see it again continuously. For devotees will be very interested in seeing this form. And Krishna said, okay, I'll manifest in this form in Kali Yuga. I'll assure you that. So then when Kali Yuga came, Indradimna Maharaj was a king at the time. Then Indradimna Maharaj was a devotee of Krishna. Neela Madhav is a devotee of, deity of Krishna was there. So he wanted to see Neela Madhav. He made many attempts, but he failed. Then suddenly, in his dream, Neela Madhav appeared and said that, yes, I'll come to you. Tomorrow, when you go to the river, the sea, you'll find a log floating, and you take that log, big log of wood, and then carve this form of mine, and the Neela Madhav form, and then you can worship me. And exactly when he came out of the dream in morning, when he went to the seaside, he saw this log. Then he immediately pulled this log to the seashore, and then he invited the person who is a very famous carpenter, and he came.
Vishwakarma
Yes,
Prabhu.
Vishwakarma is there, and the carpenter came, and Indradimna requested you please carve a form of Neela Madhav in this, and then you want to worship in a temple, install in a temple. And Vishwakarma agreed, okay, you'll do that, but one condition is there. When I am working, nobody should disturb me. You should not come and see this form till it is finished. Indradimna said, okay, right. Then Vishwakarma started his work. But Indradimna could not. contain his angst. This one. Because every day he's hearing this hammering going on. Some sounds are coming. He's making this, and Indradimna could not restrain himself. And one night, Nebuchadnezzar himself, he went there and peeped inside this tent. And suddenly, this form was there, 3 forms of Krishna and Balarama in the half-finished state, or it's not completed. Then Vishwakarma came and said that you have broken your word. I am not able to work anymore. And then he walked off. So that is how this form became the reason why this particular form of Krishna is there in Jagannath-puri. And then Lord Brahma came and installed these deities in this present Puri temple, which is the oldest temple in the whole world, and the loveliest pastimes of Krishna happened there. So people without understanding this, they kind of form this kind of large eyes and this all, and they think, how you can relate to Krishna? This is not Krishna. People will say, but that is not right. This is a
yes, Prabhuji. Because maybe we'll be anticipating some people. No, they'll ask me, Krishna is so handsome and so beautiful, and why this statue is like this? So we need to know about it. That's why.
Yes, right. That's why you asked, and it's good. Yeah. You should always get the real knowledge. And Mataji, Singha Mataji is a resident of Puri.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
This is a very first Mataji. Leave in solved. Thank you very much. So, Singha Mataji, you render.
Yes, Prabhuji. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Praladadaini, Hiranyakashipurvakshaha, Silatanka Nakhalai, Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha, Yato Yami Tato Narsingha, Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimhadi Sharanam Prapade Tabakar Kamala Bare Nakham Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhrungam Keshabhadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hari, Jaya Jagadish Hari, Jaya Jagadish Hari, Jaya Narsimhadev, 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 Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narohari, 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 Jaya Narohari, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Narasimha, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Om Ugrang Virang Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Nursingham Vishanam Bhadrang Mrityu Namamyaham. Om Ugrang Virang Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Nursingham Vishanam Bhadrang Mrityu Namamyaham. Om Ugrang Virang Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Nursingham Vishanam Bhadrang Mrityu Namamyaham. Sri Narsingha Jai Jai Sri Narsingha. Prahladesa Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bhranga Sri Narsingha Jai Jai Sri Narsingha Prahladesa Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bhranga Sarva Vigna Vinashak Narsingha Bhagavan ki Jai. Krupa Sindhu Bhaja Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo.
Nandagodi Vaishnava ki
Jai.